What's up, my Capricorn Soul family? Welcome back to the channel. And of course, if you are new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn on your notifications so you can stay notified about all of my new posts. So you guys, this is Capricorn Sun, Moon, Rising, and even Venus. This is your July 2026 energetic outlook. And we are going to kind of take a look at how this energy will be impacting you guys this month. Now, before we get into your individual reading, I do want to kind of talk a little bit about the energy of this month because July sort of has this like hero's journey kind of vibe to it, right? We start out with this number 7 month in Cancer season, and that in traditional tarot, seven is related to the Hermit, and so um, we are kind of starting out this month in a very introspective kind of place, and with Cancer season here, we're gonna be some of our old emotions and things around like family patterns and fears and things that we maybe have been processing or healing. All of those things are going to come up for us at the beginning of this month. So we could take a closer look at them and process what needs processing and release what needs releasing. Because, we are making room for the latter half of the month when we get into Leo season. And that's where we get into the number eight energy. July, universally speaking, is an eight energy because we are in a universal 1 year. So 7 plus 1 is eight. And that is like the strength card in tarot. And so when we get into Leo season at the, second half of the month or whatever, the latter part of the month, that is where we are kind of taking what we have learned and we're kind of asking ourselves what to do with it. Like, okay, now what? Now, how does that become something that we can embody, or part of our wisdom teachings and like the medicine that we share with others, right? Like I said, it's the hero's journey. So it's like coming full circle and embodying that wisdom and taking it back to the collective, to the community, right? To be shared. So there definitely is like like I said, the hero's journey kind of vibe to this month in a collectively speaking manner. Now, Capricorn, you guys, like your reading this month um definitely has that spiritual undertone to it. Lots of number sevens showing up for you guys. But it's a deep personal level too. And there is something here about um like just allowing yourself to be seen more fully, like embodying the fullness of your truest expression. That's kind of how that feels. And um not just by like, I mean that from a personal place, like where you see yourself more clearly, but you let others see that side of you too. And also spirit, right? Like a more open and honest connection with spirit is what it looks like here too. Okay. So, I would invite you guys to kind of, as we go through your reading, um, to kind of reflect on where you might be keeping yourself guarded, or what part of you might you kind of suppress and not let others see that could actually be some of your best qualities. That's often what happens in our shadow, our creative gifts and talents and gift, like all these things become suppressed, not intentionally, but through wounding and reasoning, and might even be family patterns. Some of that will come up, and show you where this stems from. So I would invite you guys to kind of sit with that, not just through your reading, but this month. That's something to reflect on. Okay, Capricorn, let's get into your personal reading. So first and foremost, you guys, your emotional frequency this month is the color orange, number 16. saying nurture yourself. So right off the bat, you guys have that same number seven energy, right? Now orange connects you to your sacral chakra. So that's your emotional body, and that is also where your creativity is housed, not just your creativity but also your fear, which is kind of ironic, but um your pleasure and desire and relationships, that's all part of that sacral chakra as well. So um with this being nurturing yourself, this is also like your ability to um really enjoy your life instead of maybe being in survival mode. That theme seems to keep showing up a lot for different readings this month. So I'm just going to kind of put that there with this too, with this orange, nurture yourself, sacral energy. Now, like I said, it is in number seven. So, just like I said with that hermit energy, there's definitely like a quiet, more introspective, energy to this month for you guys. So, Capricorn, you might be reflecting on a lot of things and looking at different aspects of your life and your relationships, and questioning like what actually fulfills you, like what feels good to you versus what doesn't anymore. Um, you might be realizing some things just aren't working the same anymore. And it could be even as simple as how you treat yourself, like just or the way that you are showing up in your life, in your relationships. Maybe there are certain things that just don't work anymore. Especially if you are one, because it says nurture yourself. So if you are a person who tends to overgive and always be like the strong one or the responsible one, kind of handling everything for others, then this is a reality check, okay? And this is spirit asking you to check in with yourself and give yourself what you need so that you're not operating from a space of depletion. So really sit with that. Like, what is it that you need right now? What is your body asking for? And what helps to kind of like bring you back to center, to yourself, where you feel safe and secure, or you feel your best, you know what I mean? It feels like that's going to be really important this month for you guys, because there is a lot of spiritual energy moving around you right now, and so this is about grounding it in, and you know making sure that your body um and your life, it can hold this level of frequency that is trying to emerge and manifest in your lives right now, okay? Now the areas of impact for you in the first place that this is kind of showing up is in this number 74 nature card, green and purple here, right? So green, of course, connects to your heart. Um, but it obviously can also be nature itself too, right? But purple again is like spirituality and your higher connections, higher mind, higher self, your intuition, um your spiritual awareness, right? Now 74 reduces to 11, and so that's a master number. And nature might be one of those places where you can communicate with spirit very clearly. Like your heart is just open and you see the signs, you see the synchronicities. You can come back into like alignment and into flow. Nature might be one of those places where you get to rest and rejuvenate and actually nurture yourself. Because nature is quiet and, well, I mean, more quiet than like, the chaos of like being in the city or something like that. But you guys might need more quiet this month than usual to process all of this. you know, less like phone time, and more, time outside getting grounded, just kind of space where you can actually sit with everything that is coming up for you and allow yourself to actually feel it, and process. You got to feel it to heal it, right? So, this could be just as simple as, taking a walk, somewhere in nature, sitting outside with the sunrise in the morning. That's really great, especially because you guys have so much upper chakra energy. Sun gazing, morning sun, and I don't mean like staring straight at the bright, bright sun, but I mean just as the sun is rising in the morning, um, you know, looking at the sunlight, allowing it, sun gazing opens your pineal gland, and you guys got a lot of that upper chakra energy. So, it could be something like that too. Or being out in the yard, something that you could get your hands and feet down in the dirt and just really connect with the earth, um, and allows you to connect with your body and with spirit in a quiet place, there's probably some things that are trying to reach you, intuitive hits and things like that, messages that are trying to reach you. And, it's really kind of hard to hear spirit if we're constantly around, people, noise, just pressure all around, right? Um, and then we have the spirituality card number 77, okay, in this indigo and violet color. So that's what I meant about those upper chakras. You got a lot of upper chakra energy. And that double seven, that's loud. It's showing up again because you also have your overall frequency is it reduces to a number seven too. And we're in a number 7 month, and then now you got 77 showing up in one of your main areas of impact. So, Capricorn, you guys, your spiritual life might be more at the forefront of things this month, Um, just like I was saying, especially getting out in nature, it lets that channel be open more clearly. But, spirit is likely communicating with you through all the signs and synchronicities, your intuition, that can even show up in like dreams and things too. Think about your psychic clairs. So it could show up in any of those ways. But spirit is definitely communicating with you. And, as I mentioned about the hermit energy of this month, you guys might be kind of questioning your own spiritual beliefs, and you might kind of find yourself drawn more to that path this month, exploring it more, connecting more with spirit in whatever way that looks like to you, regardless of if it's through, prayer or meditation, or, some type of sacred text that you study, or it might be church for some of you, whatever it is. Nature is church for some of us, right? So, whatever it is, this is about having a deeper relationship with spirit, okay? This feels like a very important aspect for you this month because it's helping you expand and kind of open up some new areas in your life, okay? And I think there are going to be a lot of spiritual awakenings this month. I actually saw in some of my other readings that this energy of like spiritual awakenings or like kundalini activations, spiritual rebirths for some of you even. So that is a theme that definitely seems to be showing up this month for the collective, and not to go all far conspiracy theory, but they did also just shut down CERN too, right? So like how many people are going to awaken now? Just saying. But yeah, this is definitely um reflecting, looking at things, whatever's coming up. And like I said, the spiritual component might definitely be a big part of that for you guys. um okay, then we have spiritual partnership, card number 27. And this is that violet color and orange, and I'm distinguishing that violet from that indigo because there's the difference between your third eye and your crown, right? And so violet is like your crown, it is spirit, it is, your connection with the spirit realm, okay? And like this says, spiritual partnership. Um, where the orange brings us back to your main frequency, back to your sacral chakra. So again, that's that emotional component, creativity, fears, your relationship. So naturally, spiritual relationship, spiritual partnership. So, um, 27, because this is a number 27. 27 is like the number of completion, right? So there is some type of old cycle that is closing, and being that this is spiritual partnership, this could be around isolation for some of you. Think about the hermit, right? So you could be coming out of that isolation period, hermit mode kind of period, um or like where you've had to kind of close off parts of your heart even to feel protected. um you know Either way, there is some type of cycle that is closing around this, right? So I will say for some of you this could involve some type of literal partnership. um this could be some type of romantic connection, or like someone you thought was a soulmate, right? This could be soul family, even like friends, friendships and things like that. A friendship or partnership that feels spiritually significant in some way, so you could even be coming out of some type of karmic connection here. Okay, and I say that because you got new ones coming in, and this is number 8, but I'll get into that. But I do, really think that this kind of speaks to um not just spiritual relationships in your life, but like I was saying earlier, your relationship with spirit. How much do you trust your higher self or your intuition, right? How is your relationship with spirit, with God, with source, whatever you call it, Um, do you let yourself actually be supported? That's a big question for a lot of us. Sometimes it's hard to ask for help, you know. So the thing is that um because I was saying some of this is around your beliefs and everything else, programming and things that we are processing. For some of you, you might not feel connected to spirit. You might not feel worthy of a connection to spirit, or you might just feel disconnected from God, from source in some kind of way. And um, this could be showing you how to develop a closer connection or how to reconnect, to kind of help you come back to yourself, you know. Um, there is definitely a spiritual component to this month for you guys, however we look at it. Now getting into the deeper story behind everything though, the deeper story we have is the loving woman, the vast universe, new supportive connections, and hidden motivations. Okay. And these definitely do tell that deeper kind of story, because we start off with the loving woman, and that is a number 6 people card, right? So for some of you, um, this may be like a literal woman in your life of some kind. Like I said, it could be soul family kind of energy or whatever. It could be, a woman, a loving woman in your life. It could be a friend or like a mother kind of aunt figure or whatever. Um, this could even be, an older sister or daughter, an older daughter, obviously, because it's a loving woman, but you get the point, someone whose love and presence um becomes important to you this month and feels good for you this month. Um Now for some of you too, this might even be your own feminine essence coming back to life too, where Because that six energy brings healing and like nurturing and compassion and stuff. Um, and it's also sometimes around responsibility for caring for others, right? Um, so for some of you guys, this might be where someone comes in to um show you love and like care and support the way that you show up for other people, and this might be a thing for you to you kind of have to decide, are you going to let yourself actually receive it without feeling guilty about it? Because like I was saying earlier, I kind of sense that some people can kind of struggle to ask for help or to really connect, and I'm seeing that throughout the spread in different ways. So, for some of you, it could be that as well. Um, then we have the vast universe, okay, and that is a number one spirit card. Um, and this is like an expansive energy. I know we have some alignments going on with Jupiter right now, and that is expansion. Jupiter expands everything that it touches, right? So, um, your spirit might kind of be widening your path or your view. Um, you might have kind of seen yourself or your life in one way, and maybe your perception is expanding and you're starting to see different options, see that there is more available to you. Because sometimes we could narrow in and get so focused on the problem, or what's burdening us or whatever, and we can kind of miss the bigger picture or miss bigger opportunities and things that are available to us that we can't always see, especially if we're trying to do life all by ourselves all the time. So you know there's more available to you. The universe is opening up pathways for you. So for some of you, because it's a number one too. Some of you, this could be a new idea or, like I said, just potential or possibility, a new vision for your life that is trying to come through. Um, this feels like a reminder from spirit that you're not limited to any one version of your life. You are the author of your own story. So you have the pen. You get to narrate how this story ends however you want. So there's always more available to us sometimes than we can think of or see. Okay, then we have new supportive connections as the number eight people card. That's what I was mentioning earlier. And this is not like just casual connections. This is soul family. This can also be karmic. And karma gets a bad rap. It's not always a negative. Karma, we have to see negative and positive lights, right? So like I was saying about the cycle that is ending, it might be a karmic cycle ending and a new kind of soul family, soulmate type of energy and connections that are coming in. So these are going to be people who can actually support that next level of you and what you're becoming. um they can they're going to be people who are helping you paint the canvas. They might help you in some kind of way, either through just support and encouragement, or actually helping you um build something, or believing in you. Like they might help you believe in yourself, you know um seeing that you're less alone, especially than what you thought you had and what you've been doing trying to do life by yourself. um these people too, because number eight is like I was saying, the strength and power card. So in a practical sense, this could be people who bring in certain opportunities, let's say related to like work or money, because there's an aspect of like money to the number eight too. And like purpose and creative projects and stuff like that. Just building something, someone helping you or motivating you in some way, supporting you in some way, some type of meaningful connection. Now, then we also have hidden motivations with this number one intention card. Okay. And I know that might seem like a little alarming, especially being right next to like new supportive connections. It's like, okay, well, what are their intentions? Or it might be hard for us to make connections because we always question that. Okay, what is someone's hidden motivation? Why are they showing up, right? Um I don't necessarily feel like this is like a warning card where you need to like question everything about the people that are showing up, but I do think that it might be important to kind of just pay attention to the relationships in your life and which ones are actually meaningful and reciprocal and genuine. Um Now, in relation to the full reading, and not just the supportive connection with this card, I would also be encouraging you guys to look at your own hidden motivations. Like, what is motivating you right now? Um is there anything you're kind of holding back on because of fear or self-doubt in any kind of way, or even not having support? You might feel like you don't have support. You might need to call that in and ask for it, right? That might be part of that lesson, is learning to ask for help. You don't always have to be independent, and it doesn't always have to be physical people, but it can also be spirit. Something else I want to point out, I'll just notice too, when I said about that new supportive connections, that might even be that loving woman, okay, for some of you. So just putting that out there. But anyway, um, you know, what moves you right now? What is motivating your intentions? Like what is making you want to, move? What's your deeper desires, and what is it that you really want? Do you want um deeper, more intimate connections with spirit or with people? Like, are you calling in those deeper, genuine connections? Maybe, I don't know. I just had this conversation with someone the other day talking about how it's so hard to find people in the physical sense that you actually connect with on a deep, intimate level versus certain online communities where you meet through commonality and interest and things like that. Sometimes it's hard to make those friends in a physical sense, so that could be part of it for some of you guys too. Maybe you're calling that in for yourself. um but I do think that there is something here about desire and you know um calling in what it is that you really want into your life, and looking at what is motivating you to make certain choices and decisions. Um, so yeah, it's, about getting honest with yourself about what it is that you really want. And especially if you're someone who puts your needs last or your ideas and things like that last, if you brush it off, because this is about nurturing yourself and honoring yourself and your gifts. So, um, you know, make sure you're reflecting on that a little bit. So yes, Capricorn, your direct guidance this month is definitely about letting yourself be supported, through spirit, through people. Um, you don't have to like hand over your entire heart or your life to people either, but you know, people who have earned that access to you, this is about creating those deeper bonds with those type of people and building more meaningful connections, because you've done life on your own long enough, and now it's time to really call in those support systems, to help you get to this next level. You don't have to do life by yourself. um So yeah, make sure you guys are getting out in nature this month, getting in, those quiet spaces where you can actually hear spirit and hear your higher self. nurturing yourself, getting out into nature and um doing what honors you. Maybe it's taking photography as you walk through, or maybe you like to sit and journal or something like that. Whatever feels good. Whatever kind of helps you clear away that noise so that you could hear that inner guidance coming in, okay? And pay attention to who is showing up this month. Who is showing up with that energy that you desire, that the deeper supportive kind of connections who are really here to encourage your growth, who respects you and honor what you're becoming, okay? Because those are the connections worth tending to and building versus the ones that are part of that cycle that's, closing out, okay? Now before I get into your spiritual support this month, let me just say you guys got a lot of spiritual support coming in this month. And I find it so funny that all five of these popped out when I was shuffling, which go figure, because as much spiritual energy as I said, you guys have this month. No coincidence that five come flying out as I'm shuffling, right? They sent the whole damn committee. So your spiritual support this month, Capricorn, you kick off with Sanat Kumara light activation, saying, shine your light. Your internal guidance is coming through loud and clear. So, that's kind of confirming that, 77 spirituality card. You're getting the signs. You already know you're feeling that guidance, you've probably been getting it for a little while now. But July might really be that month where, like, you know it becomes harder to ignore. And you're gonna, really want to answer that call. Now, you also have faith with humanity and benevolence. And she is reminding you to stay calm, trust the good in yourself and others, and see the light in the world. Now, that feels important too because, like I was saying, for some of you, you might have been disappointed by certain people in the past and have protected yourself because of it, right? But faith is asking you to see the good in yourself and others, see the light in the world and let people in, not blindly either, but share your heart, speak your truth, be your authentic self, because all of this blue energy is very much throat chakra energy, and that does connect to your true self, your true self. So the people that are coming in are trustworthy. The people that are coming in are here to support you. I mean, reflect on them, like I said, don't go into just blindly fully giving, full access to you either, but like, you know, don't question every little thing. Like you might be a little skeptical about new people, right? So for some of you, that's what this is, kind of pointing to and just reminding you, like, yeah, do your little background checks or whatever it is, but like, you know, trust in spirit, trust that spirit is sending people who are in alignment with you and the version of you that you are becoming. Okay. Don't let like past hurt kind of deter you. Um, and then we have Lord Shiva with transcendence. Okay. And he says to rise up, honor your inner force, and trust that the steps are being given to you. So dance with the universe. Okay. Um, Shiva is like what is he called? The destroyer, I think, sometimes or something like that. Um, he's often associated with like endings. But also, like I said, it's transcendent. So like transformation, um, you know, going above something, clearing away what is no longer true for you or in alignment for you, right? whatever it is in your life that kind of needs to shift so that you can move into a truer expression of yourself, that is what you are transcending. So, like I said, some of the emotional stuff that's coming up in hermit mode at the beginning of this month, that is what you are transcending. Those are lessons you have learned and mastered and becomes part of your spiritual wisdom. Okay. Um, Definitely being given some guidance. Now, we also have the divine director with intervention and purpose. And he says, divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. I love that. Happiness is your only purpose. Yes. I love that so much. And especially, Capricorn, for you guys, this feels um you know, really powerful because you guys are so like y'all are just like boss babes. Like y'all are such little hard workers too, man. You guys um and for some, and of course I don't mean this like no shade at all, but like for some of you, you're you push push push, right? Work work work. There's almost this idea of like um in order to get what you want and it be like what you really want or to be worthwhile or whatever, it has to come through hard work and discipline and constant effort and, push, 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 control, that kind of thing. And that's not always the case. You know what I mean? Um, this kind of points to you guys being redirected to a path that isn't going to require that of you. You see what I mean? Um, and it's actually going to help you. This is divine intervention. It's bringing you out of, some of you might be like, stuck at a job that you don't want to be at instead of pursuing something you feel is your true calling. And that might be pointed to, revealed to you this month. Um, Now, divine intervention can sometimes come through in like really weird ways too, because spirit works in mysterious ways, right? So it might not necessarily look a certain way on the surface. It might seem like a hiccup of some kind on the surface. It is Mercury retrograde after all too, so like it could look like some type of delay or a detour of some kind. Like some type of plan that gets changed or something you didn't expect to happen, right? But that could actually be part of a spirit's divine plan to bring you in a certain direction in pursuit of your joy and your desire and what it is you really want, right? So like I said, spirit works in mysterious ways. Now, lastly, you also have Joan of Arc with the voice of truth. And she says to stand strong, focus on your purpose, release the fear of persecution, and speak your truth. And that brings us right back to that hidden motivation card, right? So it might be something you've been afraid to say, you know? Maybe it's like something you really want to pursue and you kind of, you know, um, worry about how others will think of that or view you or whatever. You know what I mean? Or it could be some type of truth being revealed to you about a relationship or about a certain path or calling or something like that. Um, Either way, I do feel like, Joan of Arc, like she is um kind of reminding you to speak your truth, regardless of what that looks like to other people. It doesn't matter how they perceive it or if they understand or don't understand, right? Like being misunderstood does not make you wrong. You're allowed to speak your truth about what you want and who you really are, what you're becoming, whatever. You are allowed to speak your truth and be your authentic self. That's what this really feels like. Okay. Now, let me read your final message from Spirit. It says, Dear wonderful you, intimacy is scary sometimes. It means you have to let someone else get to know the real you, not the perfect, flawless mask you wear for others. No, it's time to reveal the cool one, the passionate one, the imperfect one that is totally you without artifice or walls. Yes, you will be exposed and vulnerable for a time, but it will be so worth it. This is the only way you will know true closeness with others, and you will also be close to spirit and to us. There is amazing freedom that comes when you let go and just be yourself with another or even a group. Release from the invisible bindings that keep you from intimacy is truly empowering. So may we support you wholeheartedly in this choice. You will know yourself better, and we hope learn to love yourself as much as we do. Life is about who you are with others, so share it. You will be so glad you did. Loving you so, so much. Love, Spirit. I love this. I say I've probably said this in almost every reading, but like I love this deck. I always close my readings with this postcards from Spirit deck because it always ends up literally summarizing the entire spread. No matter how many different decks I use, this one always brings it like perfectly together. Okay. I love it. So, yes, Capricorn, you guys, you know, this is where you open up and let yourself be the real you instead of trying to be perfect, you know? Perfection is an illusion and you don't need a mask of any kind. You don't have to be perfect and um productive all the time or like completely self-sufficient or anything either. And you're worthy of true intimacy and closeness in your relationships, especially the one with yourself and with spirit, you know? So for some of you, that's really the deeper meaning behind some of this, is you are worthy of all of it. You're worthy of reciprocal relationships that give what you give so freely of yourself to other people. So, come back into your own heart, nurture yourself, and of course, listen to the guidance that is coming in for you guys this month because spirit is definitely coming in loudly this month and showing you you're not alone and you're not meant to be. Not only is spirit here supporting you, but you got these, the loving woman, the new supportive connections, all that care and love and support is coming into you, probably even in ways that you don't expect it to. So just be honest about what it is that you really want. And even if it makes you feel a little vulnerable, it's okay. Let yourself want it and let yourself um be seen and in the truth of who you are. Okay. All right, my Capricorn loves. I would love to hear in the comments how this resonates. Let me know what landed. And of course, if you guys want to book a personal reading with me to see how this energy is showing up for you on a personal level this month, I will make sure I put my booking information in the video description. So be sure to check that out. And if you're not already following me on Facebook, you might want to click the link in the video description and go join me over there. Go give me a follow. Every Tuesday, like every week, I host a Tarot Tuesday for my collective, for my community. And I always do free card pulls. I also offer like some special discount stuff that's that day only, where I do donation-based mini readings. And then I also offer full recorded readings for the ones who want to go like really deep, and I do those at a discounted rate on that day. And that's for so that way you don't have to like wait to schedule and like wait for booking availability or anything like that. You can just order your reading and I send it to you as a private video to watch, just like this one, but just for you. So give me a follow on Facebook. And all right, Capricorn, I'm sending you guys so much love and many blessings for the month ahead. Take care, you guys.